Welcome to Red-Handed Crimes channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Typical night at Watson Enterprises. The cold fluorescent lights hummed above the nearly empty office floor of Watson Enterprises. The last few employees had trickled out, leaving behind a trail of empty coffee cups and discarded paper. James Turner, the company's ruthless CEO, sat in his high-backed leather chair, reviewing financial reports with a furrowed brow. His company had seen better days, and the stress was beginning to show in the sharp creases along his forehead. Outside his office, a janitor named Daniel Carter quietly pushed his mop across the polished floor. He was an older man, well past his prime, with weathered hands and a posture that suggested a life of hard work. Most employees barely noticed him. To them, he was just another nameless worker in the background. James, already irritable, caught a glimpse of Daniel's slow movements and snapped. "Can you move any slower? Some of us have real work to do." James barked, slamming his pen onto the desk. Daniel paused, offering a brief nod before resuming his work, unfazed by the outburst. But his silence only irritated James more. "Do you even understand English, old man?" he sneered, his voice dripping with condescension. "Maybe if you worked as hard as the rest of us, you wouldn't be stuck mopping floors at your age." A tense silence filled the air. Daniel said nothing, but for the briefest moment, a flicker of something unreadable passed across his face. Then, he simply continued with his work, as if nothing had happened. Little did James know, this janitor was not who he seemed. A shocking revelation the next morning. James walked into his office to find his assistant, Lisa, standing pale-faced by his desk. "Sir, you need to see this," she said, handing him a folder. Inside were several printed articles with headlines that made James' stomach drop. "Disgraced CEO resurfaces after years in hiding. Former tech mogul turned janitor." The name beneath the headlines? Daniel Carter. James's pulse quickened as he skimmed the pages. Years ago, Daniel had been the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, a tech pioneer celebrated for his innovation. But a scandal had destroyed him. False accusations of fraud, betrayal by his closest allies, and a media frenzy that painted him as a criminal. He had lost everything. But now, years later, here he was, quietly mopping the floors of Watson Enterprises. James felt a chill wash over him. The man he had humiliated the night before was once more powerful than he could ever imagine. A reckoning that evening, James found Daniel in the break room, sipping coffee as if nothing had changed. Swallowing his pride, James approached. I owe you an apology," James admitted. "I had no idea who you were." Daniel looked at him, his eyes calm and knowing. "Does it matter who I was? Shouldn't respect be given, regardless of status?" James opened his mouth, but no words came out. He had spent years equating worth with power, yet here was a man who had lost it all and still carried himself with more dignity than James ever had. That night, James couldn't sleep. The encounter left him restless, forcing him to reevaluate his treatment of others. Perhaps, for the first time, he understood that true respect isn't earned through titles, but through character. A life-changing decision. A week later, James made an announcement, a new employee program focused on second chances, offering job training and advancement opportunities for those who had fallen on hard times. The inspiration? A janitor who once ran an empire. As for Daniel, he quietly declined any special treatment. He had made peace with his past, choosing a life of humility over power. James, however, had changed. And all it took was a janitor to teach him what success truly meant. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.